there's always that one player in spring training that can look so good, and you think it's their year, and then they come to the season and have the worst season you've ever seen.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the 450 Dead Center Baseball Blue Jays. We only talk about Blue Jays now. Channel, Chris here with Daniel.
Hey guys.
Hey, we're talking about standout players in spring training right now because there's a few. There certainly is a few, and I'm just like, you get that little head turn. You're like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like something like that. And there's a few players on the Jays right now that are like that. And I'm pumped because there's some guys that I'm like, you know what? This guy's going to be good this year. And I like that.
This is where spring training is where you find your next favorite player or you find that next stud.
Kikuchi.
And then when he breaks out, you can literally go, I told you so. I've been a fan of this guy forever.
Exactly.
That's
exactly what it is. So you want to just start off on a bang right here? On an absolute bang. You say Kikuchi, 7 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 3 walks, 9 Ks, 0.57 whip. The guy's an absolute animal right now, and I'm loving it.
Now, it is spring. Okay, let me preference all this. Everything in this video, we take it all with a grain of salt because it is spring training.
Yeah, but he's going to win the Cy Young this year.
However, 7 innings is what? 3 outings he's had?
He's had 3 outings. Yeah, something like that.
Outings.
Yeah, 3 games.
3 outings of really good baseball he's pitched.
He hasn't given up a run. He's given up 1 hit. 1.
Compared to what he was last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable. It's honestly, it has to be the beard, though, right?
It's got to be the beard.
He's just pitching with confidence because he looks good.
It's got to be. I mean, this guy, you got to keep in mind, he's our 5th starter. Knows he's the 5th starter. Everyone knows he's the 5th starter.
Yeah.
All we're asking him to do is keep us competitive in games.
For sure.
And I don't think he's going to have this kind. I don't think 7 innings of 0 hit baseball or whatever, 1 hit baseball,
what an
0 earned run baseball. I don't think he'll ever get a start like that for the Jays this year. I'm sorry.
Whoa, I think he's going to get multiple if he's winning the Cy Young. So.
Okay. But I do think he is capable of doing 5 innings, 2 hit baseball, 0 earned runs. I think that's very doable for him.
I think it's fair as well. Yeah. So Kikuchi.
Only thing
breakout
I was
player.
Gonna say about Kikuchi because I was listening to Blair and Barker.
Yeah.
His strike ratio for fastballs is still not very good.
That's what spring training's for. That's just,
so I think they were saying it was during his first start with against the Pirates there or wherever it was against the Pirates, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Whatever that, he was 2 for 13 in locating a fastball for a strike. So
could be. It honestly could be worse. It could be last year's stats.
We'll see. I just something to keep an eye out. But
yes,
like what I'm seeing so far.
For sure. Speaking of players who were really bad last year, Bisio is looking really good this year in spring training. Sure, the OPS isn't flying off the board, but he's hitting 368, Daniel, with a 400 on base. Like, yeah, slugging, he doesn't need doubles, right? He doesn't need those things. If he's just getting on base, that's really all that matters. And he's doing really well this year. And he's doing that with only 1 walk. So,
that's impressive. Exactly. It's only 1 walk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed. Does he have his strikeouts out? How many strikeouts does he have?
He has 3 Ks. And
how many at-bats?
19 at-bats.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad. And he's hitting 368.
We've talked about it for years.
That's 7 hits.
We've talked about it for years. Sorry. We've talked about it for years. If Bisio can get on base, this guy's going to be an everyday player.
Exactly. Like, even if he gets on base at like a 330 point, like
250 average, 330 on base is. If he does that, he's an everyday player.
Yeah, and it looks like he's absolutely killed the power. Like he's no power right now. It's just straight slap singles, which is great for him because now with the shift rule, he can finally use his strength of pulling the ball. And he'll get actual hits instead of hitting it right to the second baseman or the first baseman or the third baseman in like right, left, center or whatever. It's stupid.
So I saw today, because of all the new rules that's happened, and I will throw a bunch of these facts in that I saw.
Okay.
Left-handed hitters this year with the shift ban are up 20 points in batting average compared to earlier spring training.
That's really good because that puts a guy.
Like I know batting average is not the be-all end-all, right? But 20 points is a lot, especially for a guy like Cabin.
Exactly. Like I said, 220. You put that up to 240, like then that on base percentage goes up another 20 points. His on
Yeah.
base is probably going to be at that point like 360. Like that's really good.
Even think of it this way: 280 to 300.
Unbelievable. Exactly.
That's a big difference. What people say, 280 to 300 is way different.
Massive difference. And then at that point, that'll probably put your on base up to like 380, 400,
Yeah,
which
something.
is really like that's like elite levels right there. So I like
I
the
just
shift ban.
hope it's not the casual. There's always that one player in spring training that they look so good, and you think it's their year, and then they come to the season and have the worst season you've ever seen.
Yeah, and there's
It,
another guy who's doing sort of what Cavan's doing right now. This is Espinal. He's doing it, but he's also hitting for power. He's hitting 412 with a 474 on base with a 1.062 OPS in 17 at bats. So he's looking really good as well, and he's hitting like doubles and home runs and stuff.
I mean, Espinal and Bisio, we've said for years, it's their second base. Let's be real. Like
And Merrifield.
Merrifield's there for now.
Mm-hmm.
But those two guys are younger, right?
Of course.
What's up there in age, obviously.
He's a little
Um,
older.
yeah, and it's those two for it to run, especially now that we don't really have a shortstop for infield. Espinal's kind of the backup shortstop as well. So
Mm-hmm.
if we can get this kind of production off them and get them doing this during the season, which is what I think everyone's looking at, uh, it's a good sign for the Jays. I just hope Espinal doesn't cool it off like he did last year, because we saw last year he was so hot at the start of the year, so hot in spring training. When the All-Star came and he just fell off a cliff.
Exactly. And if honestly for me, like we've said this many times, if Espinal keeps this up at least by the deadline, like I think he's a perfect trade piece.
Trade value. I know a lot of people didn't like the take we had about Espinal possibly being traded this year, but I mean, if he's playing really, really well and his value is extremely high, and you're going to get some really, really good guys back, I mean, it's definitely something to consider.
Exactly. You have to do it at this point. And another player who's also in the infield that I've like last year, pretty rough year in the minors for him. Arelis Martinez last year he hit like 200 in the minors, but he hit like freaking 40 home runs. He was crazy. But this year,
He's the Toronto version of Joey Gallo last
no,
year.
like on it's no, you're like absolutely right. This year in spring training, he's hitting 286. I don't want to just like it's spring training. He's had 7 at bats, okay, but he did not do that last year. He did not hit for average. It was either home run or out, basically. So
Does it have his strikeout numbers right now?
he has 2 Ks and 7 at bats.
Okay, so the swing and miss is still there a little bit.
Yeah,
However, I mean, it's nice to see that he's putting the bat on the ball. I think
He's-
that's a key point.
for sure. He's got 2 hits and it's a double and a home run.
And I want to throw out this guy here, Chris, for you, because I know you have the stats up right now.
Mhm.
Ricky Tiedemann
I do. Let me quick. Went to the
did
pitching
get
stats.
slapped around today while we
did
were
get slapped around.
recording this.
Yeah.
However, he threw 2 innings. I think he threw 25 pitches in total. The efficiency of that is ridiculous, even for getting slapped around.
Dude,
well,
Kikuchi did that
watch-
like 15 in 2 innings. It was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So 25 in 2 innings is ridiculous.
Mhm.
And the fact that he got slapped around, and as a young guy, like, I don't know, you would think maybe, okay, he's a little like not timid, like intimidated once you get slapped around a bit. No, he
Mhm.
was right back there throwing fastballs up and in and
He was.
down and away sliders or whatever. So I like the fight of Ricky Tiedemann so far that I've seen, Chris.
Me too. Me too. Like, yeah, sure, he's got a 6 ERA, but I mean, it was 1 bad inning pretty much. So I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's washed now, pretty much. But a player.
And this is a guy that we're sorry, one more thing. This is a guy that we're talking about that may come up this year. He may not. He's still young. He's only 19, 20, 21 years old, right?
He's so young. He's so young.
Hasn't even had a full season in the minors.
No, not at all. But somebody who's had a lot of big seasons in the minor, like full seasons, and should probably have been on this team by now if it weren't for injury. Nate Pearson. I think this is a good guy to talk about to wrap up the video here. Nate Pearson has looked really good in spring training. Like there's good, and then there's like really good. Okay.
I see. If he can get the clutch down and the walks down,
Mhm.
I see a 7th inning guy, 8th inning guy, even maybe a 9th inning guy.
Yeah,
We talk about the Jays all the time. What do they need? The bullpen, swing and miss.
Mm-hmm. And
Nate
high
Pearson's
velocity.
got swing and miss. I mean, look at Josh Donaldson, 101. Donaldson's known for cheating the fastball, and he blew it by him.
Yeah, like sure his whip is 2.57, but he's pitched 2.1 innings, okay? And yeah, sure, he's got 3 walks, but that could be worked on. I'm liking what I'm seeing. This guy in spring training is throwing 101. So when this guy's mid-season form in like June, July, is he gonna hit 102, 103?
I wasn't even going to talk about that. Imagine mid-season form. He's breaking balls.
If they break,
imagine
they're
that
gonna be
101,
dirty.
and then all of a sudden you got a 92 slider with, I don't know, 12 inches of break or something. I'm just throwing out numbers. I don't even know if that's what he has or if it's possible. But like, imagine that as a hitter. That's tough. If
How
we
do you
talk about him
adjust?
getting the walks down, Chris,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be ridiculously hard to hit.
He'll be almost impossible to hit at this point. Like sure, you could just throw the bat out there, but like, yeah, you'll get lucky. But he's looking good, and if there's some pitchers right now who are on this Jays like in quotation marks on the roster who aren't pitching very good, like Trevor Richards, like he's been dog, like 16-20 ERA in 1.2 innings, but like he doesn't look good. There's another pitcher, Thomas Hash, looks terrible.
Think about like, I'll use Kikuchi for example because he's the most prominent right now.
Yeah.
Kikuchi has another bad season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pearson's your 5th starter.
Oh, him, Tiedemann. I'm okay with either one.
Tiedemann or Mitch White goes down because he has the impingement still. There's your long relief guy right there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of
2-3
versatility in
innings.
Nate Pearson.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you can get him to transition into, let's say, a 1 or 2 inning guy, we've seen in the past what he can do. I bring up that Rays playoff game all the time.
That was his best performance in the MLB.
That was his best. Yeah, that's his best performance
was,
in major leagues I saw. So
that was high stake, high risk. Like big moment, Nate Pearson, and I like that.
You're right. His time is running out. If he doesn't make this camp opening day, I think he's a trade piece. Unfortunately,
it's possible. And if we do trade him, I wish him the best for any other team he goes to, and I wish he sucks when he pitches against the Jays, obviously. But I want him to do well, and I think he'll be a great bullpen arm this year.
One more thing I want to add into this video because I know it's a huge topic and I want to get your opinion on it really quick.
Yeah.
Pitch clock.
Pitch clock.
What do you think of it so far?
I kind of like it actually. I think it adds a little bit of fun and I like the pacing of the game right now. Like right now the batters do need to adjust to it because we see a lot of guys getting those called strikes or those called balls or whatever it's called. But yeah, I think it's better for the casual fan. You don't want to sit through a 3-hour baseball game. Personally, I would, but other guys are like, well, if they can cut the game down by 20 to 30 minutes, yeah, maybe I will watch that game. So I'm excited about it.
I think I like it. I'm the same with you. I like it. Obviously, there's a little bit of adjusting that has to be done. That's it. That's with any new rule in any sport, right?
Yeah.
Batters got to adjust. But like you said, 30 minutes is huge, especially when you want to try to grow the game. The only thing I'm not a fan of is the actual pitch clock numbers on the view of the home plate camera. For example, Pirates broadcast when they were playing the Jays.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they have the pitch clock at the bottom near the score,
yeah,
is like how the NBA does with their shot clock.
I'm okay with it being on the graphic, so we know as fans what's happening. But yeah, I see what you mean. It could get a little distracting.
Exactly. It was behind home plate on either side. I don't know. I found sometimes I missed some of the at bats and some of the games or some of the innings because I was so busy watching the clock.
Oh really?
Just subconsciously I would look over and I'd be like, oh my god, 5, 4, and the next thing you know the ball's I don't even see the swing and
yeah,
you don't really know what happened.
I missed him tee up that fastball. Yeah. So.
Exactly. I think the biggest thing with it, obviously, the adjustment with the hitters is one thing, but I think just visually how they have to deal with it is also another challenge with it. And I think they'll get there eventually. I liked how they did with the last broadcast, how they just had it as a shot clock.
And don't forget, these are also spring training diamonds. They don't have the new technologies and all that. So maybe above where the camera is going to be, there'll be a little number or something on one of the railings or so. I don't know what I'm talking about, but they'll probably have a number there, and then there'll be a countdown. And
but they'll figure it out. Last thing I'll add is also stolen base numbers are way up because of the bigger bases and the pitch clock rules. I was telling Chris on the way home, it's up like 300% compared to the last decade of spring trainings for stolen bases. So
That's
that's
crazy.
nice to see, and
That
I'm
is
always a fan of
encouraging.
stolen bases. So
I love stolen bases. Makes the game more fast paced, makes it more exciting, and the Jays this year have a lot of guys who can steal. So I want to see them
Alejandro
steal.
Kirk going to be a 30-30 man, guys.
Can't
Let
wait.
us know what you think down below about the spring training in general. Let us know everything you guys think about it. Pitch clock, players, stolen bases. If Alejandro Kirk's going to be a 30-30 guy.
Now
And
30
Chris, you have
30
anything else
30.
to add?
He'll be a 30 30 30, 30 double, 30 home run, 30 steal type of guy. This will be an MVP season for him.
I love it. We'll see you
Cool.
guys all next time. Goodbye.